Howdy folks, hope you're all having a great day today. One of the most common questions that is asked is, do you strip or do you not strip the copper wires? I have watched a lot of videos when I first started out, and there's guys who said, well, if it bends, you strip it. If it's, if it's a certain size, you strip it. You strip everything. Like for every time the question's asked, there's probably about 30 different answers, it seems like. So one of the things that I thought was kind of interesting is one of the guys was talking about copper percentages, and is it worth your time to strip it? So he says break it down in monetary value. So what I'm going to do today is just show you guys how I am going to start stripping in the future, and what's going to make my determining factor whether it's worth stripping or not. Some of the things that some of the scrapyards are going to is a more of a percentage recovery, copper percentage recovery. So far in my area, I haven't seen that yet, but I've seen videos where other guys are talking about they're getting, communication wires are a different copper percentage than, say, your regular, just your regular copper wire. So there's less copper in the communication wires, or however that works out. It's a different percentage of value, so they get paid on a different rate. The one yard that I go to takes pretty much anything that's insulated wire as number 2 insulated, and that's it. Doesn't matter what it is. So I'm kind of lucky that way so far, but I imagine eventually that'll all change out here as well. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some of the wires that I don't strip. That just goes right into my number 2 bin, and then we'll take a look at some of the other wires that I have, and we'll take a look at the copper percentages and the values of what they are before being stripped and what they are after being stripped. Alright, so some of the wires that I don't strip obviously are ribbon wires. This one was a gold ended one, so I basically cut the gold connectors off, and I'll throw those in a bin and process those whenever I do. This was a silver one, had a silver end on it. Whether it was actually silver or not, I don't know, but those are 2 wires that obviously we can't strip. We got things like this little tiny wire set here. It's too small to strip. It slides right into the right through the hole. Doesn't actually bite at all on the bit. Not worth the time for me. This one's a little bit thicker, but again, it goes right through the hole without anything there. Communication, telephone, and the Cat 5 stuff. The wires inside there are really too small to strip, and you lose money by taking off the housing, so that doesn't get stripped either. This is like a printer cable. It's got a whole bunch of tiny wires, and you'll see this like the Cat 5 as well. Be a whole bunch of wires inside, but once you strip off the outer layer, you're actually losing money, so that just goes into the bin like that. This one here is a piece of shielded wire. You can see there's a little bit of shielding around it with what was that, 4 or 5 wires inside there. That I don't strip those either, and then things like IDE cables as well. The one thing that may be controversial, I guess, whether I strip or I don't, is these ones. These are like the three wire. Let's see if this one's a little bit better to look at. Has like the 3 wires together. I find when I start taking these apart, I'm losing money because this comes out, and this one is usually doesn't strip well. It's too small to fit into the thing, and a pain in the butt really to strip it. And then the 2 end ones, these ridges don't come off well, and then they don't slide through my wire stripper properly either. So wires like this that have the 2 ends with the green wire in the middle, I find I lose too much, so I don't even bother trying, and they're a pain in the butt. Like, once you start ripping it apart, these here do not come apart easily, so they break off and whatnot. So I just throw those right into my bin. Alright, so here is a couple cord types that we are going to look at. Just a few here. Anyway, we've got extension cords. We'll strip that off and figure out what's on there. This is a computer power cord. We'll cut the ends off and take the housing off, and we'll see what that is. This is a regular 2-ply cord, so we'll strip that down. Now these ones, I don't strip these normally either. This is that cord that's on the back of CRTs that goes from the tube to the circuit board. I'm not I can't recall what it is, what its name is, but to me the plastic is I don't know if that'll come in there, but the plastic is way too thick around the tiny bit of wire, and it is a bit of a pain in the butt to cut. And I think you might get more money leaving it as it is. But that's why we're gonna figure out today what the differences are. And one thing, my yard doesn't take these, and I'll show why as well. It doesn't take these. So let me get some ends cut off here. We'll get the scale set up, and we'll take some initial weights, and we'll go from there, and we'll see what we got. Okay, so a couple of wires that I've chosen to look at here for the percentages. Obviously, this one here. This is the one off the back of the CRT. This is another one that's similar to it. We won't have to worry about that one. This is a thicker outer shell, but it's got a little bit thicker copper. This is off of I want to say it was off a UPS terminal wire. And then same with this one. This was off the big battery terminal for the UPS. So we'll take a look at those two. Now for coax cable, there's a couple of pretty big things here that why my scrapyard won't take them. One, magnets stick to them. This is a neodymium magnet, and it sticks to them because the copper that's inside is actually magnetic. And they say nope, that's not a copper wire at my yard anyway. I'm going to look around and see if maybe some of the other yards think differently, but the one yard I go to says take that to throw it in with your tin steel. So. A couple of the other ones I want to look at is power cords. So I got 3 different power cords here. This one here is off of an Apple product, and I started taking a look at the wires, and I thought they looked pretty small. And let's get this going here. So take a look. It slides right in and out without a problem. So this goes right into my scrap bin, or my number 2 wire bin. Not even going to bother looking at it. This one here is a little bit thicker, so we're okay. And then this one here is obviously the thickest one. So we're going to take a look at those two. This is the power cord off of the just off regular appliances, and then an extension cord. So it's obviously got the 3 wires in there. I get a lot of extension cords. I'm not sure about the rest of you, but I seem to get a lot of burnt out ones, so I tend to strip those down. One other thing I want to mention here before we start looking at copper percentages is anything with Bear Bright. You can see we've got the thicker Bear Bright strands in there. Always strip that. That is always more profitable than throwing it into your insulated bin. Alright, so some of the base numbers we're going to base this copper percentage off of, and whether it's worth scrapping or not, is what I got last time at the yard. So I was getting 180. I wish. I was getting $1.80 a pound for number 2 copper, which works out to just 11.3 cents an ounce. For insulated wire, I was getting 60 cents a pound, which works out to 0.38 cents per ounce. So that's what we're going to base all our numbers off of when we go through it here. Alright, so let's take some preliminary weights. I already have my scale there in pounds. So we're going to start with the CRT wire. And it is 0.7 of an ounce. That's before being stripped. We'll look at the yellow UPS wire next. And that is 1.3 ounces. The red UPS wire. That one is also 1.3 ounces. Then we'll look at the black 2-wire power cord. That one there is 2 ounces. Sorry, I'm just writing this down as we go along here. The black 3-wire one, it's 7.5 ounces. The gray one, the gray 3-wire, is 12 ounces. And then the last one is the blue extension cord. And that one is 1.66 ounces. Or sorry, 1 pound, 6.6 ounces. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip these down and get the, and I'll show you the weights for them all as we go along, and then from there I will show you the percentages and what we'd get if we strip them versus if we don't strip them. Got the first 3 stripped out, so this is that little bit of wire from the CRT cable. Did we get to 0.2? 0.2 ounces. This is the yellow UPS one. It ended up being a tin copper, which is, it's alright. So that's one ounce there. And then this is the red cable from the UPS. It ended up being, also 1 ounce. So, alright, so for the black 2-wire one, we end up with 0.7 ounces. For the black 3-wire one, we end up with 2.5 ounces. For the gray 3-wire one, we end up with, 3.2? Okay, and then for the blue extension cord, we end up with 9.8 ounces. Alright, so just going over our numbers again here. I get it. The last time I went to the yard, I got $1.80 a pound for number 2, which works out to 11.3 cents an ounce. For insulated wire, I was getting 60 cents a pound, which is just under 4 cents an ounce. So we're going to take those numbers, we're going to put that into our calculations here. So for that CRT wire, if I don't strip it, I get 2.7 cents. If I do, I get 2.3 cents. So obviously I lose money if I strip it over the long run. That works out to about a 28.6% copper ratio. Or copper percentage, I guess we'll call it. For the yellow and the red UPS cables, those are thinner insulation with some thicker wire. If I don't strip it, I get just under 5 cents for both those wires. If I do, I get 11 cents. So obviously those ones are ones that you're going to want to strip. Works out to a 76.9% copper ratio, or copper percentage. Now, this is the stuff that I strip these all the time, and it's looking like I'm losing money here. For the black 2-wire one, it works out to about the same. Sorry for my writing there; it's a little bad. I get, if I don't strip it, I get 0.76. If I do strip it, I get 0.79. But 35%. For that 0.003 there, it's probably not really worth it to strip it, right? You lose more in your time, but I'll have to do a few more math calculations on that and just to determine, but that one's not looking very promising. The black 3-wire one though, so I got 29 cents if I didn't strip it. I get 28 cents if I do, and I only get a 33.3% return on that. So those ones you probably don't want to strip anymore because you're gonna lose money over the long run. The gray one, which I thought I was actually gonna make money on if I stripped, I get 46 cents if I don't strip it, and only 36 cents if I do. So I lost 10 cents on that, and the ratio is 26.7%, which is a lot lower than I thought it was going to be. But then the blue cord, blue extension cord, I got 86 cents if I didn't strip it, and I got $1.11 if I do. So that one was worth stripping. Works out to 43.4% for a copper ratio. So that about wraps up copper percentages and the ratios, and hopefully it helps answer the question: do you strip it or you don't strip it? I think what the easiest way to do is if you got a bundle like this is a pretty long 2-wire cord. Snip off a foot or so, weigh it before, then after you strip it, work out the little copper percentages to see if it's worth stripping the rest or not. Taking samples of your wires is probably not a bad idea. You can probably save yourself a lot of time in the long run. I was really quite surprised at the fact that I was losing money by stripping those, like the black and the gray computer cables there. So I'll probably have to run some more numbers on that just to verify, but I checked these numbers and they look pretty good. So as I was saying, I hope that helps you out. Every yard is going to be different. Obviously, we see that with a lot of things. So make sure you check with your yard first to see if it's worth stripping some of these other ones, or the percentages that they're going to pay you out on might make a change. It's also personal preference. Tiny little wires like this, I really don't strip it unless they're really thick. Christmas lights is one that, as an example, you can get a whole bunch of little ones out of it and a couple of really big long ones. I wasn't stripping the tiny ones before, and I'll be running some numbers to see if it's actually worth stripping the long ones as well, or just snipping the lights off and calling it all number 2, insulated. Well, yeah, again, it's like personal preference, whatever you want to do. I'm going to be using these numbers a lot more now to try and save some time, and obviously looks like I'm losing money in the long run on some of those numbers. But anyway, I hope this helps you out, and I hope you find it informative, and I just hope you all have a great day today. So please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll talk to you soon. Ciao.